Imagine finding out that a stranger has been in every single one of your family photos. Not just yours, but your mother's and your grandmother's. A silent observer, present for decades, and in every picture. They're getting a little bit closer. Is this a real-life horror story, or just a terrifying work of fiction? We'll find out in a few minutes. But first, it's time to close the case file on episode 5. We had 3 stories, but only one was true. If you haven't seen episode 5 yet, and you don't want the mystery spoiled for you, now is your chance. I've put a link for it right up here in the corner, and also in the description below. Alright, for everyone who's up to speed, the true story was story number 2, The Watcher. Yes, a real family bought their dream home, only to be tormented by a series of terrifying, anonymous letters from someone who knew intimate details about their lives and claimed to be watching the house for generations. The case remains one of the most unsettling unsolved mysteries in modern history. Now for a quick and important update. I've been reading all of your comments and listening to your feedback, and many of you have said the same thing. Waiting a whole week for the answer is brutal. And you know what? You're right. The suspense is fun, but the payoff is better. So, based on your feedback, we're making a change. Starting with this episode, I will reveal the true story at the end of the video. This way, you get the full, complete mystery package in one go. My goal is to make this channel the best it can be, and your input is a huge part of that. So thank you. And now, with that said, let's open 3 new case files. 3 stories that blur the line between reality and nightmare. Pay close attention, because only one of them actually happened. Story number 1, The Lagging Mirror.
Our first story takes us to Prague in 1998. Clara, a young art student, was exploring the city's labyrinthine backstreets when she stumbled upon a dusty antique shop tucked away in a cobblestone alley. Inside, she found the perfect piece for her small apartment, a tall, elegant, floor-standing mirror with an ornate, tarnished silver frame. It was baroque, beautiful, and seemed to hold 100 years of secrets. After haggling with the shopkeeper, she proudly hauled it home. For the first few days, it was perfect. But then she started to notice something off. It began subtly. She'd raise her hand to brush back her hair, and the reflection would be just a fraction of a second behind. A barely perceptible delay. She dismissed it as a trick of the light, or her own tired eyes after long nights of studying. But the lag didn't go away. It grew worse. Soon, the delay was almost half a second. It was deeply unsettling, like watching a poorly dubbed film of her own life. She tried to rationalize it, thinking perhaps the old, thick glass warped the light in some strange way. One morning, as she stood bleary-eyed, brushing her teeth, she paused and stared into the mirror. Her own reflection paused with her. And then, as she watched, paralyzed, the reflection's lips curled into a slow, deliberate smile, while her own face remained perfectly still. A cold dread washed over her. That night, she covered the mirror with a heavy blanket, but sleep offered no escape. She was awoken by a faint, rhythmic sound. It was the sound of fingernails dragging slowly down glass, coming from underneath the blanket. With a scream, she ripped the blanket away. The mirror was just a mirror. Her reflection was just her own terrified face. Deciding she was losing her mind, she resolved to get rid of it the next day. But she allowed herself one final, morbid glance. Her reflection stared back, motionless. It wasn't lagging anymore. It wasn't moving at all. It just stood there, its head tilted slightly, its eyes wide, and that same impossible smile plastered across its face.
Story number 2, The Uninvited Guest.
Our second story begins with loss and a descent into the past. After his grandmother passed away, a young man named Sam was tasked with the heavy job of cleaning out her attic. The air was thick with the scent of dust and old paper, a museum of a life well lived. In a forgotten wooden chest, he found it, a heavy leather-bound photo album. Its pages were yellowed and fragile. He smiled, sitting down to take a trip through his family's history. The first photo was from the 1950s, a black and white shot of his grandparents' wedding. In the background, amongst the crowd of smiling guests, he noticed what looked like a smudge, a distortion in the film. It was the vague shape of a tall man in a hat, standing under a distant tree. He thought nothing of it. He turned the page. A color photo from the 70s, his mother's 5th birthday party. And there it was again. Standing across the street, partially hidden by a car, was the same tall figure. More in focus this time, but still too far to make out any features. A chill crept up Sam's spine. He began flipping through the pages methodically, his initial nostalgia replaced with a growing sense of dread. There he was in a photo from 1988 at a family barbecue, standing in the neighbor's yard. There he was again in 1995, visible through a window during a Christmas gathering. And again at Sam's own high school graduation in 2008, a face in the crowd. In every major family event, in every captured memory, the uninvited guest was there. Always silent, always watching. And in every single photo, he was a little bit closer. With trembling hands, Sam turned to the last page. The photo was from the previous summer. A bright, happy day at a family picnic. Everyone was smiling, gathered around a blanket. Sam's heart stopped. The man was no longer in the background. He was standing right behind the family, right behind Sam himself. His form was clear, his dark suit crisp. His face was still cast in shadow by the brim of his hat, but he was so close now, so terribly close, that Sam could see his hand, pale and long, raised in the air, just inches from his own shoulder, as if about to rest it there. And Sam could have sworn that in the deep shadow where his face should be, he could just make out the edges of a wide, knowing smile.
Story number 3, The Ghost Ship of Malacca.
Our final story comes not from a haunted house, but from the vast, lonely expanse of the open ocean. In June of 1947, a terrifying series of SOS messages began crackling over the radios of ships navigating the Strait of Malacca, one of the world's busiest shipping lanes. The sender identified themselves as a crew member of the Dutch freighter, the SS Arang Medan. The first message was frantic. All officers including captain are dead, lying in chart room and on the bridge. Possibly whole crew dead. This was followed by a burst of unreadable Morse code, then a final, chilling message.
I die.
The American merchant ship, the Silver Star, was the closest and diverted its course to investigate. As they approached the Arang Medan, an eerie silence greeted them. The ship was intact, bobbing gently in the calm, tropical sea, showing no signs of damage. After hailing the ship and receiving no response, the captain of the Silver Star assembled a boarding party. What they found would haunt them for the rest of their lives. The decks of the Arang Medan were a ghastly tableau of death. The entire crew was dead, their bodies strewn everywhere. The captain lay on the bridge, his dead eyes wide open. The radio operator was slumped in his chair, his hands still on the telegraph key. Even the ship's dog was dead, its teeth bared in a frozen snarl. Every single body was found in the same horrifying state, frozen in place with their arms outstretched, their faces twisted into masks of sheer abject terror, their eyes wide and staring up at the sun they could not see. There were no visible injuries, no signs of a struggle. The boarding party reported an extreme, unnatural chill in the air, despite the blistering tropical heat. The captain of the Silver Star made the decision to tow the ghost ship to a nearby port. But as they attached the tow line, thick, acrid smoke began pouring from the cargo hold. The boarding party scrambled back to their ship, and moments later, the Arang Medan exploded with such force that it was lifted from the water, before sinking instantly, taking its horrifying secret with it to the bottom of the sea.
A mirror that steals your reflection. A photographic stalker who transcends time. Or a ship of a dead, terrified crew. One of these nightmares is a documented event. Now it's your turn to be the detective. Which story is the real one? Number 1, the lagging mirror? Number 2, the uninvited guest? Or number 3, the Ghost Ship of Malacca? Leave your guess in the comments below right now. Let's see who the real investigators are. Alright, the time has come to separate fact from fiction. The true story in this episode is story number 3. The terrifying tale of the SSR Medan is one of the most famous and enduring ghost ship legends of all time. While some details are debated by historians, the core story of the distress calls and the discovery of a ship full of terrified, deceased crew has been a staple of maritime mystery for over 70 years, with no one ever providing a definitive explanation for what happened. Congratulations to everyone who guessed correctly. You've got a sharp eye for the truth. If you love diving into these dark mysteries and testing your instincts, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss the next case file. Until next time, be careful what you find in old photographs.